do. But tonight, man, is a really special show. Like I said, we're going to talk about not all 32 teams tonight. We'll talk about some. Each member has been directed to, they've got a team, and hey, they're going to take a team and we're going to dissect, break down, hey, what they're doing this year as far as the NFL schedule and the preview. And I'm happy to have football back. It's pretty good. Good to see the Giants and Patriots playing 7-3. And hey, with that said, man, we don't have Dan and Mike Mills with us tonight. They will be giving their predictions and their summaries on the teams that they were given.
Yeah. Let them keep theirs. I'm not taking none of theirs. Keep their own goddamn garbage.
So without this, let me put these full disclaimer out there. As you can see, I got the Giants cap on. Those that don't know, I am a Giants fan, and hey, each member, they don't have their team that they're gonna preview. So I gave everybody their rival, so to speak. I don't think D-Dubb, did you get a rival?
I did not get a rival. Nobody that
that's some bullshit because it gave me two.
Look, the Giants ain't got no rival because they ain't shit. So you can't put a high school team up there. We gonna be like, wait a minute, Butler High School.
We get this started like
that.
Whoa.
Hey, my mic might go out in 2 minutes. So I'm
it might cut this motherfucker off, man.
Yeah. Rat chill, man.
Hey, we had to beep him out last week, man. He went hard.
Well, y'all Giants fans, y'all make sure y'all tune in because I got some things to say about y'all Giants. That's one of the teams that I got for the night. So
yeah. So
man, we're gonna have fun, man. Like I said, we're currently on YouTube. I think Facebook just went out for whatever reason. Like I said, we had some technical difficulties. We're back on YouTube. Hit us up in the comments on YouTube. The angry one, he will be monitoring the comments, man. Hey, whatever team you like, hey, hit us up. Let us know that, hey, I'm wrong, whatever. With that said, we're going to start with the AFC East. I'm tasked with talking about, I know a lot of Buffalo fans, staying in Charlotte for a little bit. Shout out to all the Buffalo Bill fans and those have, moved. But a lot of Buffalo fans out there, Buffalo Bill fans, you should be happy with the progress that you guys have made last year. Let me just break it down to you. So the Bills finished last year with 11-6 record. They won the AFC East, but that epic AFC divisional game, 42-36. They lost to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs with the walk-off touchdown to Travis Kelce. So, and the guys will chime in as we do this. So some of the additions that the Bills have made on the defensive front, you got Von Miller, who joined the Bills after winning the chip.
That was big.
That's huge, right? Another edge rusher.
Still got a high motor.
I think it's 1 year left in that motor, though.
Man.
He's still getting high with the motor. What'd you say?
Yo, he still got enough to get it done, man, to get that Buffalo team.
So who
to win that division. I think Buffalo's gonna win that division, but Kev, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Who getting high with the motor?
Yeah. Von got the high with the motor.
But that greenery is not legal in Buffalo. Just putting it out there.
Oh, New York State though, right? I thought he good.
Oh, you're talking about that.
City and state, two different things, brother.
Dude, that went way on my head. Oh yeah, I got you.
Hey, like most of these cats, they'll figure it out, bro. You know, when there's a will, there's a way.
When there's a will, there's a way.
You know what I'm saying? And if he needs the greenery to get the motor going, yeah. But go ahead, Kev. Go ahead. This will go left real quick.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yes, this will absolutely go left here in a minute here. So let me just go on to my journalism because yes, absolutely, there's some little journalism. So I said Von Miller, and then you got Daquan Jones was added, replacing Harrison Phillips on the defensive tackle side. Then you got Tim Settle and Jordan Phillips. They were added to the line. You got the new rookies, cornerback Khalil Elam, running back James Cook, and linebacker Terrell Bernard are good additions, but those guys will not be started. Just so let me put it in perspective to you. The Bills, they had a really good team. I thought they could have easily went to the Super Bowl. Like I said, they played that epic game against Kansas City. And let me get to some of the subtractions. So you got some of the subtractions for the Bills. You got Cole Beasley. They lost. Also, they lost their offensive coordinator, who's now my New York Giants head coach, Brian Debo. I think that's going to be huge. But we'll see how Josh Allen how he will adapt to Ken Dorsey, their new offensive coordinator, who used to be their quarterbacks coach. So those guys got a good relationship. We'll see how those guys manage with the play calling, and Debo was bad with that, good with that play calling. So I'm not talking about the Giants. I'm not tasked with the Giants. I forgot who was tasked with the Giants. Eric, you got the Giants, correct? Yeah. So, but with that said, with the Bills, I think. So let me go on to my other stuff here with the Bills. Ken Dorsey, he got promoted to offensive coordinator. You also got my main man on the trigger, Stephon Diggs. Yo, year 2. Diggs is a bad man. My only concern about Buffalo, and y'all probably gonna be right on with this. Buffalo fans, get at me. Their running back situation. And they got the newly drafted James Cook from Georgia. So we'll see. He's a good pass catching back out the backfield. And then you got also Devin Singletary, a holdover from last year. Let's see, he will take a break with the duties with Cook. I went through their schedule. The Bills, according to their schedule, which I went through line by line, they should finish 12-5. This is the only team I'm going to give a prediction about. I believe the Bills should win the AFC Conference Championship and go to the Super Bowl.
Y'all make sure this is live and this is on YouTube. I'm gonna play this back. You are so wrong, my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Don't give me.
So with that said, Kevin, let me ask you
a
question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You said that your only discrepancy with the Buffalo Bills is their run game. In what fashion do you mean? Do you mean they're not able to run the ball? Are you talking about the offensive line? Or are you talking about the play calling, Kevin? Tell us.
I think their ability to run the ball last year was, if you was going to say issue, might be an issue, right? Buffalo Bill fans, let me know if I'm telling the truth, because I think I'm telling the truth, right? So with that said, right, and up there in the Northeast, you got to be able to run the ball, right? Got to be able to run the ball. You can't pass your way through, even though they almost did last year, right? They, Josh was throwing for 30, 40 times a year. I got to find a stat here, but Josh Allen was throwing for 30, 40 times. That's kind of tough to do, and they almost did it. I think they have the offensive prowess to get through that and go to continent. I didn't say they're going to win the Super Bowl, but I think they're going to get to the Super Bowl. I think they got the horses to get to the Super Bowl. With that said, go ahead, then. Go ahead.
Just say this real quick, DA, real quick.
Uh-oh.
I think that the reason why Buffalo, just like another team that we're going to discuss later on, did not. The only way that, in the only fashion that I saw that they committed to the run game is with one Mr. Josh Allen. Play calling, I think, was an issue. I think they passed the ball way too much, and that's the reason why they lost to Kansas City, who does not stop the run that well at all. So if they would put some emphasis, I just feel like if they would have put some emphasis in running the ball, especially in the playoffs, it would have been a different story. But go ahead, I'm done.
I before DA speaks, I was going to say Ken Dorsey might have a different philosophy this year, where it's not pass centric all the time. Mix some running in there, ball control. especially playing up in the Northeast and terrible weather in Buffalo in November, December, and January, right? So that's your DA. You had a point. Go ahead, dog.
Yeah, Ken Dorsey, I think, would probably be a good coach because he was a horrible. No, he wasn't a horrible player. He wasn't a great quarterback as a player, but a smart dude, always like him. My biggest problem, right? And this is where I get the. I wish I had a prop for a balloon and a pin. This is where I tell people the truth, and you know, we bust all the bubbles, right? Everybody kicks you about this Buffalo defense. Dog, let Kansas City score 24 points in 2 minutes. Your defense ain't shit.
Whoa, D. Whoa.
No.
Number one in 17 games.
No.
They only gave up 289 points, bro.
The game you had to win. You let them score 20-something points in 2 minutes. 2.
That's what we call an
aberration. No.
Yeah.
No, it's not an aberration. Yeah. No, not in the playoffs, it ain't. Not when it's the last game to go further, it's not. It means you're no good. It means that you got torched. That's what it looked like. That's what it was. No. That's what it looked like, and that's what it was. You were tied, right? You were up, right? Then they started coming back. And then next thing, guess what happened? You wasn't up. And then, you scored, and you had to stop them from scoring, right? And guess what you could not do? Stop them from scoring. And then guess what happened next time they got it? They scored again. And guess what you did? You went home.
Well,
I just go with the facts. I can only go with the facts.
We got another minute, and we're gonna get D-Dubb to start off.
That was just one.
Ain't no one game though. Ain't no one game.
It's one game, bro. One game. I listen, man. Things happen in the playoffs. Hey. In the NFL, any given Sunday, guess what? Your boys, the San Francisco 49ers, Sunday, they were the best. They was the best team in the NFL.
Guess what?
Y'all went home.
We were never, the whole playoffs, we never went to any game as the favorite last year.
Sir.
We wasn't supposed to win no games. We had 30, Jimmy G.
30 seconds. I hope y'all guys are listening.
Go ahead, E.
No, I was just going to say, regardless if you was a favorite or not, if your foundation is defense, which San Francisco was built on defense and run, for them to lose in that manner, I think D-Dubb has a point on that one. That's all.
We didn't lose because of defense. We lost because your boy Jimmy G closed his eyes and threw it to a ram.
Nope. On the Niners now. Moving on. I don't even know who got the Niners. D-Dubb, Patriots. Go ahead.
The New England Patriots, man. The New England Patriots finished the season 10-7. They was in passing? They was 14th in passing, 8th in rushing, 6th in points for, and 2nd in points against. So we talked about again another NFC East team defensively playing well. You know what I'm saying? However, the Patriots lost a good corner in J.C. Walker. My mistake, I called him Jackson. J.C. Walker, and replaced him with Malcolm Butler. Now, Malcolm Butler is known for being the Super Bowl, that guy that caught the interception against the New England, the Seattle, savvy veteran, caught the interception against the Seattle Seahawks in that Super Bowl where Pete Carroll, you should have ran the ball, but that's neither here nor there. But Patriots, I think the Patriots, you got a Hall of Fame coach in Bill Belichick. He's gonna do what he does, man. He knows what he's doing as a coach. So the fact that they don't have an offensive coordinator as Josh McDaniels took another job, I believe. I can't remember what job he took.
Raiders.
He went to where?
Raiders.
Yeah. Okay, so he went to the Raiders. So he finally absolutely is sticking with the job. He's not coming back home to daddy. He's going to stay with the Raiders and do his job out there. So right now, Mac Jones, he is the quarterback going into his second year. Yeah, second year. Jones threw for 3,800 yards, 22 TDs, 13 interceptions. So Jones is still learning the new offense that's been implemented, but being the fact that there's no offensive coordinator as of yet, so they are still a work in progress. They are
Will that be a problem? Will that be, in your opinion, being that you researched them, would that be a problem for them?
Not for the Patriots, because you got Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick, I mean, he's been doing this too long. So I believe Matt Patricia is there. So I believe even tonight he was calling.
This is where y'all be with that. This is where y'all be with that bullshit, y'all.
Matt Patricia was there, so he's calling some shots, bro. Go ahead, D. Yo, I agree with you, bro, but I'm just saying he has experience.
Experience in what?
I mean, it's not the best. Listen, man.
Yeah.
All the minds in Detroit, dog. I don't know what. I mean, Detroit. I got them too. That's a whole. Anyway,
I learned how to use Odyssey last week because of the DA.
Yeah.
He's about to go in again.
Yeah.
Oh!
And I don't blame him, man. I don't blame him because, I mean, again, this is this recycled stuff that we talk about here and Chase all the time. You need some new blood, but again, there's the thing called relationships, and these guys got relationships with one another, and that's how come you see all this stuff. Same guy get a job, whatever the case is. I mean, not necessarily right, but I understand if you work with somebody, even though their resume doesn't show any progress of any sorts, but it is what it is. Also, so we got Mac Jones second year. We also got at running back position Damian Harris. He is actually even in his fourth year, he's the leader, a strong leader, and a valuable member for that New England run game, along with what's my man's name? Second, was he? I think he's a second year player. My man, excuse me if I butcher his name, Ramondre Stevenson. So they'll share some time, and I believe they got another back that is hurt with New England. So it's a running back by committee with the New England Patriots. So, and as far as with them, I suspect that being that Buffalo is 11-6, they finished last year. New England finished 10-7. I don't know if the Miami. I don't know what Miami's going to do, really.
I'm going to tell you right after this.
Well, Eric is going to tell you right after this.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be – I think as far as New England, it's still 10-7, still might sound like about right for them once again. And I didn't go through the schedule, but like I said, just looking at their division, Buffalo's still probably the top dog, and the Jets are still jetting. And Miami, I have no idea. So the angry one's going to let us know with that. But that's all I got with the New England Patriots. I think they'll be right back in that pocket, 10-7, 11-6 type deal.
Okay. Anybody else got anything on the Pats before we move on to Eric and the Dolphins?
They're going backwards. They're going to be in the reverse. The AFC is getting better. The arrogance of not having any offensive coordinator is some bullshit. It ain't going to work. All right, we can love Belichick all you want, but this young kid needs somebody in his ear to make sure that he's doing the right thing. And Matt Patricia is not it. Like, we're not going to well, you do this play, I'll do that play. You do this play, that's not going to work. It's just not going to work after. And it's arrogance because the thing is, Belichick is not going to call him the offense. See, this is the reason, and I'm going to say it in a very quick manner. We could do a whole show on this. The reason why the Patriots, in years past, when they have coaches that leave them, they usually go somewhere and don't do anything because they're all spoon-fed. And Bill Belichick does it all, and Tom Brady covered the rest of it. So when those guys got out there on their own and had to be coaches on their own, I'll let you guys figure out the success of all the coaches that came from there. That's done well. There's only been one that he wasn't a coach, he was a player, and that's Draper. They don't have another coach that's left out of that system that's been a winning coach in the N.F.L. And that's because Belichick spoon feeds them everything.
Well, okay, you're right about that. You're right about that. But at the same time, when you're spoon fed something, you're supposed to keep the stuff that you spoon fed. So, I'm not mad at him if he's spoon feeding them the guys.
I'm not mad either. I think,
but if he's getting the job done, I don't see now. What I do agree with you, you might say reverse. I only see the defense might go reverse just a little bit. But with the rest of these teams in the NFC, the AFC East, they're not losing too much. They're not going to lose too much.
They're just not playing the AFC East. They got to play the AFC West.
That's cool.
Better, which is better all the way around. That's why I said they're going to go backwards. Because other teams, they're going to be two teams that take spots this year. One's going to be San Diego, right? And the other one,
I got San Diego, I got San Diego going to the Super Bowl. That's my prediction.
And probably Denver will come up, which means somebody has to come back. And remember that Lamar, they lost a bunch of games last year because the whole team was hurt, and they're going to be healthy this year.
Yes,
so that's another spot.
I agree.
Somebody that has a spot this year is going to lose this upcoming season. So that's the way I do the math on these teams. Yeah, they can be good, but who's better? And it's scarcity. So only a certain amount of teams can make the playoffs.
But just because you telling me Tyreek Hill is added to the Dolphins, I'm not buying that. I'm not. You still got Indianapolis, that's your man Carson. So go ahead.
That's Matty Ice, actually.
Oh yeah, that's right. Thank you. Carson left. He went to where did Carson go?
He's in Washington.
Yeah, that's the last stop.
Commanders. Riverboat.
Yeah, that's his. Kevin. That's his last stop.
That's his last stop.
You're not going nowhere else. I'm sorry.
That's his last stop. That's the last stop on the train. Eric, what you got for us for those Miami Dolphins? We'll be next with the Jets.
So
Eric, hey, before you talk, you know where I'm at, right? So the folks down here want to hear.
Okay, I mean, they can like it or not. I mean, I'm gonna give it to you the way I got it. You know what I'm saying? Anyway.
Hey, hold on. Hey, shout out to my man, Sylvester Wells, man, for tuning in and watching for us. Yeah, he's up in the chat talking about let's go Steelers. Somebody's gonna get to your team. I forgot who got. I think Mike got his team. But go ahead, E.
Okay, no doubt. So we got the Miami Dolphins in the 2021 season. They went amazing 9-8 record, which was third in the AFC East. Okay. Offensively, they was 25th total yards with 307 a game. Passing, they was 17th. Rushing, they was abysmal. They was 30th. Scoring, they was 22nd at 20 points a game. Defensively, they was 15th, middle of the pack, total yards, 337 a game that they gave up. Passing defense, they was 16th. Rushing defense, they was 14th. And opponents scoring 22 points a game on them, which was, again, middle of the pack, 16th. So we have Mike McDaniel is the first-year coach, brought over from DA San Francisco 49ers, where he was the coordinator over there. So, and we also have first-year offensive coordinator in Frank Smith. Hopefully, he's brought over from the Chargers. He was their O-line coordinator. And we also have defensively, we have defensive coordinator Josh Boyer, who's been there since 2020. Special teams coordinator is Danny Crossman, been there since 2019. The key additions, again, is the head coach and the offensive coordinator over from San Fran. And we have the aforementioned Tyreek Hill, who got traded from Kansas City, who, that's what everybody's talking about, of course. We also have left tackle Teron Armstead from New Orleans signed with the Dolphins.
That's a big move. Yes.
They also, to relieve young Tua of much passing 40 times a game, they picked up running backs Raheem Mostert from San Fran. They picked up Sony Michel from Seattle. And they also picked up my guy, Chase Edmonds from Arizona. They also, we want to talk about linebackers to see if they got another year or so left in the tank. They picked up edge rusher Melvin Ingram. Key losses, key departures for the Miami Dolphins. Well, you can start right at the top. Brian Flores. How is this team going to respond without that leader in the locker room?
Wait a minute. Or no leader, but go ahead.
Oh, well.
According to
some and according to others,
I'm just saying.
It's that flip-flop. I'm only,
I'm just reported what they say, man.
True indeed.
Devontae Parker is now in New England. That's a big key right there.
Yes.
Philip Lindsay, they're all go-around running back. He's in Indianapolis. Malcolm Brown, he's in New Orleans now. And Jacoby Brissett, as we know, is in Cleveland. So,
hey, hold on.
Being said,
you said Philip Lindsay went where?
To Indianapolis.
He was with Denver before, and then he.
Yeah, and then he came to Miami. Yeah, okay. And then he went to Indianapolis.
Okay.
So my 2022 outlook, on the Miami Dolphins is this. Dolphins fans, cover your ears because you're not going to like what I'm about to say. Even though offensively you brought in some offensive geniuses, your schedule is tough as shit. Okay, I'm giving you a record of 6, not 10 on the end of it, 6 and 11. That is
hard. That's hard.
I think you will see flashes of the team getting better, but because of their schedule, like DA said, the AFC
West
East is playing the AFC West, and we already know how loaded it is out there, and Miami just does not have it yet. But I feel in another 2 or 3 years, they should get better.
Yeah, that's definitely going in reverse. That's transmission. Yeah. There was no transmission oil in the pan.
Yeah, you slipping. You definitely slipping. 6 and what? 11.
I got 6 and 11. They was 9 and 8 last year.
9 and 8, man, and they got hot.
That was a stretch. They got hot.
Yeah, they got hot.
They won 5-6 in a row, whatever. That's not going to happen this year, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. It's not. I'm sorry.
What do you say with the quarterback?
What is going on with my? Okay, yeah, I got to pardon self because I don't know what's going on with my. I'm listening. I'm trying to get my video.
What do you say about the quarterback and how they going to get that situation with him? And
that's the reason why I didn't really speak on that is because I really don't know. Maybe DA can bring some attention. I don't know exactly what the offense is really going to look like. I haven't seen any tape or anything like that. How are they going to integrate Tua and these new pieces together? But that's why I said I really don't think that they are going to do well, because if they had a schedule like they had last year, I would say, yeah, you know what, they might be right back in 9-10 win threshold, but I don't see it. So DA, can you chime in, please?
I don't think they're going to sneak up on anyone. Right, so I think you're right with that. I think Tua is going to be better. I think he's a good quarterback. I think what they are going to do to maybe mitigate some of that is by them bringing in 3 new running backs. Is people see but they don't see. So they got Tyreek out here talking all this mess, and all the cameras are going to follow Tyreek and wobble around. And, we're going to do this and do that, but you don't notice that they brought in 3 running backs and a brand new offensive line.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, I was saying one of the running backs came from the offensive the head coach who used to coach out there in San Francisco.
Yeah, Mostert was hurt all last year. He didn't even play last year.
Correct.
But
right.
He's fast, and he doesn't fumble. But that's the last time I saw him, which is 2 years ago. But the reality is that new offensive line, 3 new running backs. That team is going to run the ball this year, especially early in the season when it's hot and other teams are getting worn down by that humidity. That's what McDaniels is thinking. I'm just going to run the ball down cats' throats until we can get to where we need to get. That's all. I don't, they'll let people, put the cameras on Tyreek and waddle and this, that, and the third. But they know they don't have a good enough quarterback to win a Super Bowl throwing the ball 34 times a game. So
they could have had the GOAT.
No, they couldn't have the GOAT.
Yeah, that's another thing. Do y'all think is this background noise with the
yes,
owner?
Of course it is. Yeah,
owner. Does that mean anything to these players about the owner, Tom Brady?
No, because look what they went through last year. Brian Flores and all this hoopla that was going on. One thing I will say about Miami, I don't think any outside noise is going to interfere with what they got on inside.
I don't believe so either.
They have blinders. They have real good when it comes to what they're doing in that building. That's all they care about.
Okay, and that's the only pause I have with them not being good is that they had a few games last year, man, when they were like real serious, like defensively, like they had like 8-9 games at the end of the year and no one could score them. So if they can bring any of that back, maybe run the ball a little bit, take the air out the ball, they may sneak up on some folks, man, because that's where you win in the NFL. I don't care what no one tells you. Run the ball, play defense. So that's what I see them doing. I think Tyreek.
But what about teams that pass the ball 40 and 60 times?
They don't win Super Bowls. That's basically it. That would be the answer to your question, sir. Next.
The New York Jets, DA, go ahead.
They won 4 games last year. And the synopsis is it's real simple. Unfortunately, they lost Mr. Beckham, who is their stalwart young tackle. So he's going for the year. Zach Wilson, that hurts him because Zach took a lot of chances last year because he was getting ran out the pocket. And so we threw the ball to other teams a lot, which I'm not a proponent of. I think he's a pretty good quarterback, but I still think there needs to be time given. I don't know what their plan is because they do have Flacco behind him, and I don't think that if the Jets even look to be middle of the pack, I think they would take Zach Wilson out and put Flacco in, right? Just to win games, to let this kid learn and watch and do what he needs to do. He came from BYU, so he didn't play against the best competition in college all the time, but I don't think he's a bad quarterback, but he's not a big guy either. He could get hurt. The next thing that they did was they picked up Sauce Gardner. He's going to be a heck of a DB, but he gets put right into the fire like game one, right? Because, he has to play against Diggs. He has to play against Tyreek and Waddle. So it's going to be hard for the rookie out of Cincinnati, who is a great player, I believe, for the Jets. But he's going to be tested early and often. The good things that the Jets have is basically after this season, they will be 6th in the league with salary cap. So to me, it says that if this doesn't work and the Zach Wilson thing doesn't go to be where it needs to be, they can get the rest of the team together real quick and get a free agent quarterback to kind of stave off people killing the coach at the gate, right? So they can keep this dude here, get a veteran in there, and kind of just start turning the ship around and doing something else, and rather than maybe spending too much money on a rookie quarterback that maybe will never pan out. So that's the way it seems with that salary cap. Those dollars that they're saving, they have a pretty good team, right? They have a good offense, not a great offense. They have a lot of speed. They have Berrios. They have the kid from Ohio State who's really good, the wide receiver. He's really good. Wilson. So they're going to be pretty good. They got a good tight end, and the defense is solid. They're not great, but you're not going to score 40 against them, right? Because they win the tackle. They run to the ball. And I actually had a good time watching them a lot of last year, man, because they were like Detroit in the way
play hard.
They never gave up a game. Like they lose, but they went hard. And I can always appreciate that as a team. But I think as an ownership group and a team, they understand that their gig is to keep this money in the pocket until they can tell if Zach Wilson is real or not. So, and that's a sound plan to me, man. It's a real sound plan. And if he has a good year, then they can start thinking about, we'll give you a little bit of money, some incentives, and boom, boom, bow. But, it still only will be year 2 next year. So I think they'll come in last, but they'll be fine.
I think, like you said, we talked about, jokingly, the last thing we talked about, turning the corner and make sure we're going forward. I think the Jets have some pieces in there. We gotta, as the angry one always says, I don't want to hear anything about a quarterback if you keep on changing coaches, offensive coaches, coordinators, all that stuff. That is extremely hard to.
It's a lot to ask, man. It's a lot to ask.
A lot to ask. And we've had a couple former NFL people that said the playbook is like this big on this show. And that's a lot to ask for every year. The terminology changed, this changed, all that changed. I only played football in high school, so I can only imagine what it is in the NFL with the playbook, again, being this huge.
It's not.
So that's a lot to ask. Hopefully the Jets will just keep some good pieces around him, keep some continuity around him, around Zach Wilson. And then, the Jets can begin to turn the corner. And one of the good things that DA said, they played hard every year. The name of the coach, what's his name? Saleh?
Robert Saleh.
Yeah. A former Niners coach.
I wish he was still my D coordinator.
So that's pretty good that's a pretty good assessment. I'm sorry, E, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I think the Jets could be all right if they run the ball, because they got Laken Tomlinson from San Fran. He's a guard.
That's good.
He'll move some people on out the way. So it all depends on what you're going to have coming behind him. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate about Beck. The tackle that got hurt, because it seemed like
Becton.
It seemed like he's one of them guys. It seems like he's always going to have some kind of injury issues or whatever, but should have a solid line though.
Well, they did. The Jets did pick up Dwayne Brown. Dwayne Brown, he's pretty good. He ranks 15th in among offensive tackles. So they was flirting with him early in the year before Becton even got hurt. So that was it's a solid pickup. So hopefully they, that addition will help them out. But of course, anytime you lose your star offensive lineman, it hurts. But they got to keep it pushing.
The thing about football, fellas, and I always say this, man, is that the only thing that's constant is that shit always changes.
Mm-hmm.
So, for teams to go ahead and people to think, oh yeah, we won that division last year, we're going to win it again this year. Those Patriots days, and I'm not trying to just say because we talk about the Patriots, but just
no,
it's over. It's very hard to do.
Football is hard.
Very hard to do.
You can't. You just think that things change, people change. People, they get into contracts, got it. But just to think, like, I don't have the Rams going back to the Super Bowl. I don't think too many people do either, to be honest with you, except for Rams fans. But
it's rare. It's rare that the best team wins the Super Bowl anyway. It's the team that gets to the healthiest at the end.
Facts.
Is the one that usually gets closest to winning the Super Bowl. So, there's a lot that goes into it, man. So
look at Kansas City. Everybody thought they was going to have a dynasty. They're what, 1-1? Old man Brady came in there and spanked them. I mean, it happens, man. I mean, it's hard to get back and to win it again.
Without any type of injuries and things of that nature, it's very hard, man. That's why I said, I don't. If you win this year, just you count it as, thank God we won it. We was able to get through, and win the chip. But to do it, I think it's even hard. I mean, it's just hard now, man. It says something you could do it twice. It says even more if you could do it 3 times. I don't think we have the Dallas Cowboy days, the Patriots. Nah, I think them days are over.
Kevin and I we spoke about this before we had the podcast. There's a true psychological genius, and that's the only genius I give to Belichick, is that he knew to take old dudes toward the end of their careers that would go all out to win for 1 year, to win their Super Bowl. They'd be gone. And he would do it every year because there's a constant turnover of resources. So you could get an old dude and bring him in, a defensive lineman, win a Super Bowl, and then get another old dude the next year to do the same thing.
Right.
There's only a few constants on that team. I mean, it's like Brady, and it was like Wolford, and maybe a few dudes on the defense, but it changed every year except for that core. So the reality is now, when you're looking at football teams now and dudes trying to win back-to-back championships, so forth and so on, it has probably more to do with how well you do with your budgeting because it's very hard to get guys to come out there and play for free. So you had Vaughn go out there last year. Remember, the Rams went all in.
It was all in.
There was not a free agent out there last year that they did not pick up if they could have. From Odell to Vaughn to whatever to win this championship.
They put the chips in the middle. Yep.
Yeah. And remember, they got $1 billion stadium. This is how we get the money back for this stadium is by getting to a Super Bowl.
Yep.
So this is where people don't understand. So, listen, I understand teams work hard. But like I said, when I played, tell my son, the other teams practice too. So don't think for a second you're the only one out here going to practice.
That's a fact. Football is a hard sport, man. We're gonna have to move along to the NFC East. I'm gonna start off with America's team. Yep. The Dallas Cowboys.
I would cut my screen, but I don't want it messing up again.
I'll take care of that for you.
Yeah.
So let me read my thing here on the Cowboys.
Read.
The Cowboys were on their way to the Super Bowl, in my opinion. They had the running game combo, the receivers, the quarterback that they just signed, a big deal, and a stellar secondary. So what happened?
Stellar.
Can I?
My bad. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Can I give my opinion? It's just like the Supreme Court ruling. The Cowboys lost to a very good 49ers team, 21-7 in the division round of playoffs. They lost on a crazy end of the game. Looks like they didn't have their stuff together, and no time left on the clock, and that left a lot of Cowboys fans with a lot of questions to be answered on what happened. So, key subtractions for the Cowboys. They lost Randy Gregory. That's huge. Offensive guard Connor Williams, that's another one, and tackle Lyle Collins were all lost to free agency. Amani Cooper, he was basically given away for a pack of cigarettes and a Beck's beer to the Cleveland Browns. I know it's true. The one key addition that they got, some of the additions that they got, the key one was Dante Fowler. I guess that's for them trying to replace Gregory. And Fowler had 4.5 sacks with the Falcons a year ago. I don't know if that's going to equal the balance for Gregory leaving. So you also have the Cowboys also rely heavily on, Michael Gallup. You got Michael Gallup. You got CeeDee Lamb, Michael Parsons on the defensive side of the ball. And you have the questions about Dak Prescott. I've talked to a couple of Cowboys fans during the off season, and some love Dak. Some are like, I don't know. He's worth all their money. They're going back and forth with Dak. I think Dak is a good quarterback. I think he has what it takes, but I believe the Cowboys had all the pieces last year, and for whatever reason, they couldn't get past the Niners. Not saying the Niners were no slouch. The Niners play defense, and as DA just said with the Jets, hey, they practice too. They go to team meetings too, and it was just a lot. And also, my last remaining thing, Zeke Elliott. What will Zeke be this year? Will Zeke be the Zeke when he first got on, or will Zeke be still the declining Zeke, in my opinion? So I got, going through their record, I got the Cowboys finishing 11-6 and bowing out in the divisional round in the playoffs. Again? Yeah.
Another one.
Are
they going to win their division?
No.
No. I don't have them winning their division. No.
Wow.
Who do you have winning the division, sir? Oh, here we go.
He's Philly.
Yeah. I went DA. I think Philadelphia's. I don't have Philly to be going over, but I think Philadelphia is back. So that said, anybody on the Cowboys, man, Cowboy fans, get at me. I think I gave a fair assessment of your team. I know I got this Giants cap on. I know I'll probably get a bunch of text messages today. Shout out, but that's fine. Cowboys, anybody, real quick.
Peace.
I'm not mad at the Cowboys. I think Zeke had 1,200 yards last year, so he had a good season. for as many years as he's been in the league. The piece that people forget, man, when these teams lose these games, in my opinion, it's on the line of scrimmage. And they're not strong enough on the line of scrimmage, offensively or defensively. And that's why they lost the game. That's why they lost to the Niners last year, right? The Niners were up. All right, if the game was 23-17 at the end of the game, Dallas scored 10 points in the fourth quarter. That means it was 23-7 going into the fourth, which means what? They were being dominated on both sides of the line of scrimmage. Until you fix that, there's really not going to be much they can do. I think Dak is a great player, and I'm hoping that maybe Dallas can, have some of the young guys come out and play better across the line of scrimmage. But that's where they got dominated last year. So they're going to have to change that to be better.
So Kev, McCarthy's is he out after this?
It don't matter.
I mean, I'm just.
I think I think if there's no progress made on no better progress, I think this will be it. I think Jerry Jones will absolutely be looking at the former New Orleans Saints coach Sean Payton, who is just chilling. Is he still with NBC or no? Sean Payton.
I don't know. Sean Payton, I'm not sure. He was doing it a little bit, but I'm not sure where he's at.
I strongly believe if McCarthy does not make it past the amount that they did last year, I think Jerry Jones will look for Sean Payton.
What is it with this team though? Because this team, I don't understand it.
I thought they was going to go to the Super Bowl last year.
I really don't understand it because they got the horses and they can't seem to get over.
I'm gonna say
horses.
I'm gonna echo
horses in the right places.
I'm gonna echo what I said about the Buffalo Bills play calling. And that me and Daryl talked about this ridiculously over the past few years. When you have horses back there with the line that they had, now they don't have that line anymore, but with the line that they had, with the running backs that they had, even before Dak was even thought about, they had multiple chances to do damage in this league in the playoffs, and they fumbled literally and figuratively. And I feel like it's play calling. They want the superstar to be the man, the rock star, or whatever, when all the quarterback sometimes needs to do is just hand the ball off. For Dak to have 1,200 yards rushing and still feel like he had no impact on the game, that's saying something, in my opinion.
I agree. I just, Dallas is cursed. That's what that's.
Yeah.
Because when they had a good offensive line, with running backs, there were some problems with, what I'm saying? When that offensive line was real serious, then it was, it was Zeke, and then, there were really no receivers. And you remember they had to pull Jason Witten back in because they didn't have any tight ends.
I mean,
and at that same time, the defense was horrible.
I mean, these guys are 7th in defense, bro. I mean,
yeah, but it's not at the right time. It was good in defense last year, and the offense is bad. So, or empty calories, right? They put up a lot of points at the wrong time of the game that really meant nothing. So,
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's expectations.
Okay. The Cowboys, as I said, they're going 11-6, but I think they're going to get ousted in the division round again. With that said, let me move on to the other NFC East team. Eric, you got the New York Giants. What you got on my Giants, man?
Giant fans don't hate me. Well, I'm gonna tell y'all a little story about the New York Giants of 2021. Well, you probably should hate yourselves for being Giants fans.
Damn.
Sorry, kid. So, as we all know, the Giants were abysmal last year.
It was awful.
Whether it was injuries or whether it was god-awful play, the Giants managed to lose 13 games. It's only 17 in the season, so y'all do the math on how many they won, right? Dead last in the NFC East. Dead last. Okay. They were, are y'all ready for this? Offense. They were 31st in total yards, 287 yards a game. That's total, not just rushing, not just passing. That was total. Okay. Passing, they was 31st. Rushing, they was 23rd. And in total scoring, they averaged 15 points a game. You tell me what type of team is going to do anything with those type of stats. And that's just the offense. Let's talk about the defense. Defense was a little better. Total, they 21st. Passing, they was 15th against the pass. They was 25th against the run. And they gave up 24 points a game, which was 23rd in the league. Now, the bright spots is the key additions is their head coach, Brian DeBall, as we spoke on earlier, was the offensive coordinator over in Buffalo. So hopefully he can help right the ship. We got first-year offensive coordinator Mike Kafka, who was the Kansas City assistant coach from 2017 to 2021. We got defensive coordinator Don Martindale, who was the Ravens defensive coordinator over the last 4 years over in Baltimore. So we got Tyrod Taylor joining the show.
Tyrod, shout him up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was going to be some applause or something from the moderator. Okay, my bad. We got Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah.
You got
Is
right
Tyrod
guard,
okay?
Well, he is right now.
Okay.
We have to wait till I don't know what he's doing in the preseason game, but we got right guard Mark Glowinski from Indy, so that's a bruiser. Okay, and you got left guard Max Garcia from Arizona, another good pickup. And of course, you got hopefully if he's healthy, you got Saquon Barkley. Are you going to run him? That's a whole nother story. We don't know.
I'm hearing that Saquon is looking good. I'm hearing.
Didn't they say that last preseason? Yeah. I'm just asking. Giants fans, y'all let me know, man. Y'all let me know. Yeah, and the Giants nailed it in the draft too. They picked up that big big tackle in Bama from Bama, Evan Neal. And they picked up that edge rusher, Kayvon Thibodeau from Oregon. Yeah. So we'll see what the Giants could cook up, man. Key departures though. I don't know if it's good or bad. Y'all let me know. But James Bradbury has went over to the Philadelphia Eagles. You got Logan Ryan. He's escaped and went to Tampa.
He escaped with a bag of money too.
Yeah, you got Kyle Rudolph, who followed suit, went to Tampa.
Well, I don't think Kyle Rudolph.
He was casualty, cap casualty.
Yeah, cap casualty.
We had to get underneath the cap.
And he was window dressing too. Go ahead.
Okay, so Jabril Peppers went to New England. Daryl's favorite man, tight end Evan Ingram, went to Jacksonville.
He can go.
Lorenzo Carter went to Atlanta, and Keon Crossan, the cornerback, went to Miami. Now, again,
God bless those guys.
Those were some of the guys that played the most that left the team. So those are the ones that I mentioned. But let's talk about this season, shall we? This season, I went through, like I did with all the teams, I went through the Giants' schedule. And I must say, I got them doing better than last year. I got them winning 6 games and losing 11, not sniffing the playoffs at all. It's going to get bad. The latter part of this schedule, it's going to get bad real quick. And that's all depending on if people stay healthy or not. So, floor is yours, gentlemen. What y'all got?
I'm with you with the Giants. I don't expect them to, go to the playoffs, but I expect a little bit of improvement. I think they have some pillars in place. You got the coach in place, and the Giants need to stick to the plan. My real only concern, Daniel Jones. What are you going to do?
Well, just like we discussed earlier, this will be Daniel Jones' fourth coordinator in 4 years. So this might be it for him unless he goes somewhere else and plays plays second or third fiddle and somebody gets hurt, he may have another chance. But I'll say this: the ball had success in Buffalo because they had horses on the offensive side of the team. You don't have those horses nowhere. You have My Little Ponies compared to what you had in Buffalo. But I expect the Giants to at least play hard this year, because at times last year, I don't know what the hell they were doing on TV.
That's a fact.
Shout out to Dan in the comments.
Oh, he finally got in the comments. Thank you, Dan. What did he say? Dan, what'd you say? Dan,
he said, "You talking Giants?" Laughing my butt off.
Yeah,
we'll talk about this team when him and Michael come back.
I don't expect too much for the Giants this year. I'm not going to, other than me just being a Giant fan, I don't really expect much. Nope. I expect an improvement at head coach. I expect the offensive line to get better with the addition of Evan Neal. And that's all. That's small. It's baby steps with these guys, man. I'm not going to, jump out the window with them. Okay, we're gonna move right along. You got the DA with the Commanders. What's up with the newly named Washington Commanders, DA?
They're gonna be pretty good, man. If you know me in football, I don't like Carson Wentz. I don't think he's great, but I think the one thing that Ron Rivera will do is keep him under wraps and no hero ball, because that's where he gets in trouble, right? They have Curtis Samuels, they have Erickson, they have De'Ami Brown, and they have the kid Dotson, this young boy coming in from Penn State. He's got receivers, right? He's got receivers that can play. He's got a good offensive line, because they had a good offensive line last year. And they have a super defensive line with Payne, Allen, Chase from Ohio State, Sweat, and they got big boy Clark out of Georgia, who's very, very, very serious. And they pulled off a running back, which is the kid named, I think his name is Frank Robinson. He was actually, maybe we call him a super senior, played for Alabama last year. Doesn't fumble the ball. He's not a big flashy running back, but he'll get you your 3 yards in a cloud of dust, which works for Ron Rivera, right? And that works for keeping the ball with your team and not letting Carson Wentz throw it all around the yard, which doesn't work for your team. I think, again, like other teams we talked about, I think their defensive line will rule the day. I think they're going to play good defense. I think they're going to run the ball. I think if Carson Wentz messes up, Heineke will be playing and will be the quarterback, because I think Heineke has beat every good quarterback he's played over the last 2-3 years. So, I don't know why they did what they did with Wentz, because Heineke played pretty well. But
I thought so too. Yeah.
I will defer that to the folks that get paid the money to make these decisions. I believe Washington could be the second place or third place team in the NFC East this year. If they play it the way, conservatively, I think they can do so. I don't see them getting behind in any games big, period, like against anybody. Not with that defensive line. I just can't see that happening. So if they stay in the games, they'll be in the game. So I kind of like Washington. I don't think they're a Super Bowl team, but I think they will make some hay and they will scare some teams this year. And if they're not in the playoffs, they'll be pretty close to it. So again, somebody has to drop out because some dudes are coming in next year. So, we'll wait and see. But that's one of my teams that'll get close. Them, the Saints. There's a few teams that are going to make some people a little scared next year. So that's my take on the Washington Commanders. I think they'll be pretty good next year. So,
NFC East is playing who this year? What division?
They have the AFC South, which makes things real easy. I don't even think they have the Titans this year, but they do have the Jaguars. They do have the Colts.
Okay.
They have Texas. So those are three teams, not the Colts, but the other two are probably two pretty good wins if they can, kind of get there. So you can beat the Jags and you can beat the Texans. So, you got to go schedule teams, strength of teams, and what teams do best. So I like Washington. So.
Gotcha. D-Dubb has something? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, nothing. Nothing with the Commanders.
Okay.
I agree with DA. I think Heineke got dealt a raw deal because you had Samuels out. A lot of on both sides of the ball, you had key injuries. And I think with I don't know, man. I don't know why they brought your boy in over there, but I think Washington is a good team, not a great team. And if they go ground and pound, they could scare some teams, man. If your man Chase is healthy and that D line could get back to form that they was 2 seasons ago,
yes,
nobody's going to want to play them, man. Because if everybody remembers, the last time Washington was around, they had Tom Brady on the ropes. So
on the ropes in that game,
and Heineke played great that game.
Yes, he did.
So
yeah, what I think about Heineke, guys, I think that just Heineke, good player, but I don't think he's the sexy player like these guys. You know, he's not. These guys want this look for a quarterback.
And Wentz is.
Listen, man. Listen. They see other things in Wentz. I don't see it. I don't know why. You know, you might as well, if you can get better than Heineke, and you think Wentz is better than Heineke, that's people's opinion.
I'm with you on that. I think Washington fans. I think Wentz. Look how he laid in the bed the last game against the Jaguars.
Hold the covers up. Look that pillow.
But the real talk is, is that Commander's defense, and then are they going to be what
they were 2 years ago? Yes,
yeah, what we expected them to be. So I think we probably might be looking at the wrong thing, and instead of you probably should have just kept what you had in Heineke, and got that defense straight. But it's gonna be interesting. We'll see. I'm with DA and Kevin, and Philadelphia is probably going to end up winning that division, followed behind the fight between Dallas and maybe the Cowboys.
Okay.
I mean, and the Commanders.
Gotcha. D-Dubb, while you at it, go ahead. And he doesn't have an NFC East team, but he has an West team.
I do have the Seattle Seahawks, led by their coach Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll and the Seahawks finished 7-10, and they ended up after the year having a blockbuster trade between Denver and Seattle, sending Russell Wilson, a longtime quarterback and a Super Bowl winning quarterback, to the Denver Broncos. So automatically off the top, we left with the hole at quarterback. And what they do, they said, hey, we're going to go with Geno Smith and Drew Lock. Now, Geno Smith, the people in the New York tri-state area already seen what Geno Smith is, coming out of West Virginia. I believe that was West Virginia. He came out of Geno Smith. He's a good, he's an okay quarterback, but he's not good as, far, in my opinion, to be the number one starter. And by that same token, neither is Drew Lock. Drew Lock got his opportunity with Denver. He had a last year, and Denver couldn't wait to get rid of him or find a way how to put another quarterback in his place, because Drew Lock was not getting the job done in Denver. But with the quarterback battle down there in Seattle, it's a close quarterback race between those two. Geno Smith seems to be getting all the snaps with the number one offense throughout camp right now, but Drew Lock is not really far behind. So, you guys, fans of the Seattle Seahawks, y'all be looking forward to that. They haven't made a selection yet of who's going to be the number one quarterback. So, they're saying September 12th, everybody will find out. That will be game one when they play. I believe they play Denver. How ironic is that? If I'm not mistaken, I think they played Denver the first game of the season. So you got that running backs. You got Rashad Penny, projected starter. He's averaging about 7 yards per carry. He's the steady constant. You got Chris Carson. He may be coming back. He's coming back off of neck surgery. So, look out for that. So they'll be sharing that load. And they also went in the draft. They picked up to shore up that running back slot. They picked up a running back out of Michigan State, Ken Walker III. So I don't know if he's getting a whole lot of snaps, but
nice.
Yeah, possibly pairing him with Rashard Penny and the rest of them boys. So it's probably going to be running back by committee, and they probably going to need it because when you got those two, either Geno Smith or Drew Lock, you're going a heavy dosage of running the ball. So expect that. I think.
Why didn't Seattle trade for like Baker Mayfield?
That's a good question. Yeah, money. The money is always going to be the issue, but I would for sure thought that they would have went after somebody else, not so expensive, or they still not Geno. What's my man from San Francisco? Jimmy G.
Yeah,
and he might be still a lot of money, but I know I know he wasn't the fit for you guys at San Francisco, but maybe he needs a new outlook in life. And
what's the old song? I'm in love on the new management. That's what Jimmy G.
There was no management there.
There's
no management. But the reality is this, y'all, for real. It's not that they're bad. It's bad at what cost? Like, are you willing to give Jimmy G $24 million? Because he's not coming off that.
Right.
No.
He's not coming off the 24.
But here's my thing with Seattle.
20 interceptions, and you go for $24 million.
Here's my thing with Seattle. Seattle got enough players in key spots where they just need a quarterback to get them over. And Geno Smith and Drew Lock is not enough. They don't have enough to get over.
I can't. I don't know.
They could. They need to shore up that offensive line. That's what they should have been doing, shoring up that offensive line. So
I think this should have been a reboot because what they did is do there. Not even a reboot. I don't even know what this is that Seattle did. They should have done a total reboot.
Yeah.
But Kev, right? Is it bad? Okay, so if it's a reboot, then you definitely not spending no paper. Like, look, man, we're gonna ride it out with what we got until we get another quarterback in here on the cheap, like Russell.
I mean,
how are we gonna pay money?
They did shore up a little bit as getting Charles Cross, offensive tackle.
Yes,
out of Mississippi State, which was the Charles Cross is he was one of the top offensive linemen in the draft this past year. So that was a pretty good pickup for Seattle to pick him up. But they still got that quarterback position is tough, man. Drew Lock. I'm just saying, Drew Lock, Seattle Seahawks fan, Drew Lock and Geno Smith is not going to get it done. I'm sorry.
I got you, man. I guess I'm old enough to remember Kevin and Daryl and Eric when Russell came in being a baseball player from Wisconsin. And the year he got there, Seattle gave Matt Flynn all of the bag. They went into camp.
Correct.
Russell took his spot.
Yes.
They won the Super Bowl the next year.
Yes.
Now, the reality is this, and this is what you guys have to understand. Russell's first year, he was not better than either one of these two dudes. All right. So if they're using that money, type of scenario where they're like, look, man, we're going to run the ball with beast mode. We're going to play good defense. And we're going to be here at the end of games. And at a 17 games, if we can come out of them with 10, we good. And save money.
The thing is, with that philosophy, with this team, with this division, that's not going to happen. They're not going to run it.
I think we was better then when Russell came in. Our divisions got worse.
I don't know. I mean, you got the Rams, Arizona, San Francisco. Y'all guys won 10. Both y'all, all your guys won double digits.
That ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, it was 7-10.
It's not gonna
Wow.
happen. One of it's gonna fall back. It could be us, but somebody falling back.
Yeah, I see Seattle's gonna fall back even worse.
That's just
Seattle's gonna fall back.
That's a whole fact.
That's all. I don't see you guys. I mean, if you starting Trey Lance, I don't know whoever got San Francisco. If I'm thinking they starting Trey Lance, they're moving on from Garoppolo.
Yep.
You still got Debo. You still got defense. You guys should not fall back that far. I mean, y'all was 10-7. Y'all could possibly get Arizona. We don't know what if this guy's not studying his play.
Nope.
His playbook.
Hey.
No.
If he's not studying his playbook,
No.
Talk about my quarterback.
He might be 10-7 too. He might fall. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Hopkins is what's going to hurt them more than anything else.
Yeah,
he's out, right? How long is he out for? Six
games.
6 games. 6 games. We gotta move on to the next team. We're gonna go down to the AFC South. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. You're right, Eric. Let me go to Eric real quick. Eric, we're not gonna go to the AFC South. We're gonna go to the AFC North. Is it the North with the Bengals?
I thought you were doing it by division. I thought you were staying in the West, but okay. I mean,
we'll go to the D-Dubb. Go to the Rams. Go ahead, since we're in there.
All right. Well, I got the Rams because you gave me 2 NFC West teams. I don't know what you was thinking, but anyway, the Los Angeles Rams. Boy, oh boy. We all know what they did last year, man. They finished 12-5. They finished strong. They beat my Arizona Cardinals to death, 34-11. Made car seat Kyler look like he needs to go put some diapers on. They beat Tampa in a thrilling. That was probably one of the best games I've seen Stafford play. Yeah. Then they went on to beat San Fran 20-17, and then they went on to beat the Cincinnati Bengals and win the Super Bowl. Now, the Rams boast one of the game's top offenses. They was 5th in passing last year. They was abysmal rushing the ball. They was 27th, but they was 6th in scoring at 27 points a game, right? Defensively, they was middle of the pack, 13th. They was 21st against the pass and 5th against the run. And they was 9th against any teams trying to score against them at 21 points a game. So we all know they still got all of their coaches has come back. Deshaun McVay's, Raheem Morris and Liam Cohen. Liam Cohen is new. He was the offensive coordinator in the University of Kentucky last year. So he's new to the squad, but everybody else was there last year. Key additions for the Rams. Bobby Wagner. Wow, I wish we could have got him, but anyway. Cornerback Troy Hill comes over from Cleveland. Allen Robinson comes over from Chicago. So that's be a good offset for
that's big.
Yeah, so the passing seems to be still intact. And they picked up Logan Bruss. I hope I ain't messing his name up, a big offensive guard from Wisconsin through the draft. Key departures. Robert Woods is gone. He's in Tennessee. Before we talked about Von Miller, he's in Buffalo. Darius Williams, cornerback, he went down to Jacksonville. Right guard Austin Corbett went to Carolina, one of the reasons why they picked up Bruss out of the draft. And linebacker Troy Reeder went to the LA Chargers. Now, we just talked about the Seattle Seahawks, and DA mentioned somebody has to fall back. I believe that the Rams will be the team that fall back. They won 12 games last year. I don't think that's going to happen this year. They won the division. I got them at 9-8. This division, just in the division itself, is brutal. And then we got the AFC West this year. So I got them at 9-8. I don't think if they do get into the playoffs, they should. But if they do get into the playoffs, I don't see them winning more than one game.
Okay. Anybody has anything on the Rams?
Should be impressed and see what they do.
Yeah.
I didn't, like I said, I thought they were the healthiest team. I'm not sure if they think they were the best team.
I totally agree. I don't think they was the best team, though. Like DA said, the healthiest team. I don't see them getting back to the Super Bowl. Not at all. I mean, shout outs to the core guys, to Aaron Donald, but defense was good. They played good at the right time.
Yeah, I think Matt Stafford's good, but not the way they was talking about him last year. He's gonna go back to being the Matt we all know and love.
No, I have had guys talking about Hall of Fame. I was like,
stop. I was saying in my head, and I was hoping you. Of course, you said it.
Yes, man, because we got to stop this. Because of one season, we got these guys going to the Super Bowl, man. Cooper Kupp, he's a Super Bowl. What are we talking about? But go ahead. I digress.
Hey man,
history tell the story.
That's going to be on our merch. Let history tell the story, man. That's merch coming soon. Let history tell the story. Stop
it.
Stop being a prisoner of the moment. Let the person play out their career. I don't understand. I just don't.
I understand because people are lazy, and this is hot topics, foolishness. Instead of you ain't got nothing else to talk
pockets
about.
Or hot topics?
A hot pocket with a hot topic. That's it.
Yes, hot pocket topics.
Hot pocket topics. They got nothing else to talk about. You understand? So this is what they do instead of just letting it play out. They're too thirsty. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about James White. James White just retired, got 3 Super Bowl championships. You understand what I'm saying? Now, dissect his career.
They want you to tell them what to think. That's why they just want to put somebody in the Hall of Fame before they even get a chance to play a game. But it's all good. We'll get back to it next week. I think the Rams will be okay. I just think
they're a good team, but I just don't think they're good enough. They're going to be no.
I just want y'all to know, all the listeners of the podcast, your boy D is never going to change. Offensive line, defensive line. That's what's going to get you there. Now, you may not have the flashy thing at the end, but we've seen good teams that didn't have offensive lines. Kansas City lose. Other teams lose. You got to have it. So whether, the other talking heads tell you it's an offensive league, you don't need defense and do this and do that. Okay. If that's what you believe. I just don't believe that. So,
DA, before, because Eric's going to have to run here in a little bit. DA, break down, since we're in the NFC West, what's up with the Cardinals?
Okay. Well, the Cardinals are, and I'm not going to say anything about anything off the field. It doesn't matter to me. Right? So the Kyler thing is a non-issue. He's there now and he has to play, right? He's getting a check. And he's getting a heck of a check, but it's about him playing, right? So I think for those that watch the Cardinals, I think the biggest issue for you guys is, I would say, the tempo of your coaching. And I don't mean the tempo of your coaching during a game. I mean over the life of a season, right? So it's been 3-4 years in a row where you start the season on fire, and by the end of the year, you're no longer on fire. And I don't know if it's the offense, the defense, or Kingsbury loses the room if folks stop listening to him, or whatever message that he's trying to put out is no longer being digested by the masses in his locker room, right? So I think that's probably his biggest issue. The next issue on that team is, if you look at the roster, you're only going to see, and I'm not just going into names, but you don't really know many guys on that team, right? So you got AJ, who's still there. He's older. He's doing what he does. D Hopkins out for 6 games. JJ is the only real name you'll have on the defensive side, and he doesn't even practice anymore. They picked up Hollywood Brown, who talks a lot, but we'll have to see if he is worth the money that they're talking about. Because evidently,
you said he talks a lot.
Yeah, well, he said he deserved the monny. So
the man give the man the money.
Self-confidence, brother. Self-confidence.
Hey,
self-confidence.
And I'm not mad though. Zach Ertz, who's a good tight end. He's no longer what he used to be. And Rondell Moore will, I guess, round out the wide receiver room until D-Hop gets back. From a running back perspective, I think they're average. And I think that's all they need to be, with Kyler being a running threat, right? So it puts you almost in an option type of offense to where you're going to have to defend Kyler at the same time.
Right.
The offensive line did not get stronger. They're about where they were. Not much better, not much worse. Keeping in mind that Kyler is 5 feet tall. Again, these things all have to weigh into your calculation as to what happens with him over the course of the year. Because we only have 2 minutes left, this is what I'm going to say. The only thing about the off-season shenanigans that I think may hurt the Cardinals is that Kyler may be trying to prove too much. Too much. And when you're that small and you get hit trying to be Superman, you don't really get back up. So I'm hoping he can be able to stay disciplined, make his reads, and do what he's been doing. But again, I think there's a lot of issues going on out there off the football field with that.
Well, can Kingsbury help him bridge that gap to make him?
Why? He hasn't done anything yet to prove that he can. His first year's there. He coaches hard, and by the time they get to December, the Cardinals have nothing left.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to ask you, D, and you cleared and clarified that up and verified that. Thank you, my man.
What you're saying is Kingsbury ain't shit.
Him and staff. He's a college coach, man. The reality is he's a college coach, fellas. And there's no disrespect to college coaches, but it's a different game than being a professional coach. It's a different tempo, different amounts of games, different ways to reach out to the players. It's different, man. It's just different. Like, this is why Saban didn't do well in the pros, but he won 20 championships in college. There's a difference, man. There is a difference.
Urban?
Now, if owners don't see it, that's on them.
I want to get Eric in here because Eric is going to do the Niners, and we're going to wrap up. Eric, what's your opinion? Do you concur with DA's opinion on your?
I agree. I agree 1,000%. I feel like Kingsbury, knowing that he's in a room full of men instead of a room full of young men like he was in college, I think he's not trying to. He was too busy trying to be the players' coach, and now this is year 4. Some of these guys need you to grab their face mask, and that's not the type of coach that he is. This is just my opinion, but that's what's needed in that locker room. You don't have to be yelling, screaming, and spitting in the guys' faces to get their attention, to demand a certain level of respect. There's a certain way that you walk into a room without having to tap dance and make a whole bunch of noise. And year 4, these past 3 years, he has not had that. And that's why you see these guys fired up at the beginning of the year, like DA said, and tail off toward the end. It's sad because Cardinals is talented as hell on both sides of the ball. But what they're not strong at on both sides is in the trenches. My opinion.
That's facts. Eric, finish up with the Niners. Ladies and gentlemen, before Eric says the Niners, this is going to be a 2-part thing. This is a really good show. We'll have the other guys back commenting on everything, and we're going to wrap that up next week. But like I said, come back next week, hear the rest. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, we're on every major podcast platform. Anywhere there's a podcast, you can see the Sports Chasers podcast.
We're on it.
Go ahead, Angry One.
Oh, DA San Francisco 49ers. We all know the story. If y'all have followed us through the years, we all know this story. Okay. San Fran, they were 10-7 last year. Okay. They finished 3rd in the NFC West, right? But they beat Dallas, they beat Green Bay in Green Bay, and they lost to the Rams, all with a quarterback named Jimmy Garoppolo. Keep that in mind. Okay. To DA's dismay, they were 12th in passing, they were 7th in rushing, and they was 15th in scoring at 24 points a game. Defensively, where they hang their big boy hat at, they were 4th overall. They were 7th in passing against the pass, 6th against the rush, and teams only scored 20 points against them, which was 5th best in the league. Okay, we all know all of the coordinators. You got Kyle Shanahan still at the helm. You got D'Amico Ryans in his second year as defensive coordinator. You got the offense coordinator, offensive, the O-line and run game coordinator, right? Key additions, there's really not many key additions. I mean, the key addition may be by subtraction because you got Jimmy G the hell up out of there, and now you got Trey Lance in the saddle at quarterback. But you have Charvarius Ward from Kansas City, cornerback. You got edge rusher Kerry Hyder from Seattle, and you got safety George Odom from Indianapolis. Key departures, though. I spoke about this earlier. Laken Tomlinson left. He was a left guard. He left to go play with the Jets. DJ Jones left to go play with Denver. Raheem Mostert left. He's in Miami. Kwan Williams left. He went to Denver as well. And Tom Compton They did pick up defensive end Drake Jackson in the draft. They also picked up Tarion Davis-Price, running back, to help with the run game, and they picked up Danny Gray, wide receiver. So the Niners should be fine this year. I got them at a whopping 13-4 this year. I have them going back to the NFC Championship.
That sounds like Eric put down a deuce of diamonds. DA, do you concur, or is there a dissenting opinion?
No, I'm with him. The pickup that everybody missed that will probably mean the most to the San Francisco 49ers was last year. There was a man named Mr. K.L.W. We got him the year before from South Carolina. He would have been, last year would have been his second year in the league. First year he was in the league, Bosa got hurt. The next year he was in the league, he got hurt and Bosa played. This kid's a monster on the D-line. He's a D-tackle. When I say a monster, look up his stats. With him and Bosa in the game together, it's going to be hell to pay this year against that D-line. That is it. No one's talking about it, but that's the major factor, is that those four guys have not played together yet. 2 years.
Well, that's
definitely huge. What it looks like. Yeah, I want to see what it looks like when it gets together.
That's definitely huge.
Hey, how much I paid it for Garoppolo? 5-year deal, $137 million.
It didn't come out to that much because it all wasn't guaranteed, but it was more money than it deserved.
The extension, right? That was the extension, 2018.
Yeah, and I think the way they did it, when they did it, financially, it came out fine.
Right.
It doesn't go against their cap. That's why I give John Lynch a lot of love for it, and that's why I say it made sense to do it now. They tried to do it last year, but dude got hurt and had the surgery. No one wants that Wentz, Jared Goff be stuck in that money paying out to a guy that's no longer playing well. And I love my Niners, man, but I'm very truthful and saying all these guys, they won a lot when Jimmy was there. Why did they win? Because Jimmy was there, or did they win because they ran the ball and played defense?
I got you, DA.
And run after catch, because Eric said something really smart about how their passing game was. Why did Debo get paid so much money? Because you throw the ball at him at 5 yards and he runs 80. That still goes to the quarterback.
Yards after the catch, brother.
Yards after the catch, yep.
Hey, what is the suitable offer that you guys could trade Jimmy Garoppolo? I mean, y'all got to get this guy out of here.
It doesn't matter now. We'll take anything for next year. It doesn't matter. We passed the surgery, put us past our window of getting a player that can help us this year.
Is there anything particular you're looking for?
Nah. That's why, why I love my Niners, because you don't look for anything other than depth. What they say, the next best player. Like, if I could, I would trade them to Chicago and get that linebacker they got out there now from Georgia that wants to get out of there.
Roquan Smith on that defense.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nah, that ain't fair. We ain't gonna try that. No.
John Lynch, are you listening?
No. They're not gonna do it. But the point remains is that, that.
Okay. So it's nothing particular. I got you.
When he had the surgery, we couldn't get nobody by the draft. We knew we was already in the jump pile by then. So it was like we could just wait and get draft picks for next year. So.
Now, y'all know I'm a Cardinals fan, but I have to be honest. When healthy, and of course, when does that ever happen in a 17-game season? But when healthy, the San Francisco 49ers is the most feared team in the NFC. Could be in the AFC, but I need to do some more homework. But in the NFC, without a doubt, they are the most feared team, offensively, defensively, because nobody plays like they do.
You gotta hurt people, man. That's just football.
Yeah, running the ball, playing defense. Oh, and now you got a guy that you don't really need him to do much. If he could just be a game manager and run out the pocket every so often, man, scary.
I remember seeing Colin Kaepernick, and no one knew who he was. He pulled that ball out and ran 80 yards against Green Bay. I was like, yeah, it's over, fellas. Let's go.
And let me just say this real quick, since you brought up Kaepernick. Remember back then they gave up Alex Smith,
yes,
who was the game manager. Jimmy G, here we go, 2022. Jimmy G is the game manager, if you want to call him that. You bring in a guy that can get outside the pocket and make plays. San Francisco's scary, man. I'm telling you.
And I tell you, the play that turned it on for us, when the old coach that's in Michigan was there, was Alex Smith ran the ball 85 yards on the quarterback boot to the left side against the New Orleans Saints, and nobody saw it coming. Went, I got my money from the niggas at the bar, and I was like, oh, I'm out. That's how we
Hey, quick question. So what we're saying is, again, Cardinals, Niners, Rams will be slapping one another around, jockeying for position. These are the top three teams in the NFC West.
Yeah, but I don't
and don't sleep on Seattle either. Seattle may look bad, but I will give the coach at least one win against one of these three teams in our division.
Yes,
facts.
And I've got New Orleans, man, probably being the best team in the NFC, keeping it low. Believe it or not, if you look at their additions, and Jameis was killing them last year before he got rid.
Wow.
So he can't stay healthy. It seems like he got some issues now.
Dude got hit in the back, man. Like,
no, but I'm saying don't he have like foot issues or something this year?
I didn't hear that. I mean, I didn't watch.
He got something going on this year.
You know, I haven't heard anything, but yeah, he probably does. They all do. But
so we're saying with Philadelphia, we got Philadelphia, I like them Green Bay, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, Arizona, Los Angeles, San Francisco. Is that too many teams I got right there?
I ain't with Tampa. I don't see that. Not losing
Tampa going to take a step back too this year.
Yeah, that's 7 teams.
Not losing their center. They lose their center. That's the only thing that Tom Brady needs in the center. So
you said
I can't see that being good.
So if you say not Tampa, then who slides in?
Washington.
Or did you say Dallas? Yeah.
No, I didn't say Dallas or anything.
No, I'm saying who. Well, we got to
Daryl, read them names out again, Daryl.
I gave the 7 names of Philadelphia, Green Bay, New Orleans, Tampa Bay, Arizona, Los Angeles, and San Francisco as the teams to playoff. If we fast forward to playoffs, and you said Tampa Bay will be not so.
I think they're like that. Yeah. Now, dudes are talking about Green Bay's defense. I gotta watch, but I don't.
Right.
Because I'm not counting Minnesota no more. I'm not counting. I definitely don't count Detroit and Chicago. I don't see nothing. You say the Commanders. I don't see it.
I think Dallas.
It depends on Arizona too. If Arizona don't get they mojo right.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and New Orleans, I don't know. We'll see. Jameis Winston, he already tweaked something. I read.
Well, yeah, that's why. Yeah,
we'll see.
It's that time, man. What a great show, man. Hey, 90 minutes, man. We'll give you the sports world. We'll give you football tonight, football preview of 2022. Parting shots real quick. Eric, what you got before you get out of here, dog?
Oh, man, it was a pleasure again to talk football with the Sports Chasers family. Thank y'all. Mr. Wells, Dan, thank y'all for hitting up the YouTube.
Check it in.
Chiming in. You know what I'm saying? Salute to y'all, gentlemen.
Thank you, guys.
Salute to Mike Millie. We catch you next week, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, to all the fans out there, man. Y'all just take it light, man. Again, as I always say, it costs you nothing, man, to watch out for your fellow man, woman, and child. You know what I'm saying? So, peace, love, and we'll holler at y'all next week, man.
Appreciate that, E. DA, what you got?
Hey, everybody, just be cool and let history tell the story. That's it. God bless everyone. Enjoy.
Thanks.
Let history tell the story. I love doing this. This is great. Good. Welcome back to the N.F.L. 2022 season. So looking forward to next week. We can finish up the rest, and we should have a good season, man.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just got one last thing. I forgot, man. I want to say this. When our host and moderator came up and said, "Hey, we're going to give you guys X amount of teams to do for this NFL season, just to do your research." While I was doing this research, I had to stop and pause. I like to thank all of the great sports journalists out there.
Facts.
Their due diligence and do their research. I salute to y'all because you're part of the reason why we like sports. It's not just because of the played on the field is the commentators and everything else. So just shout out to y'all, man. It's a lot of work doing this. I can imagine doing this all day, every day. So shout out to the real sports journalists out there. I salute to y'all, and y'all hold continue to be great.
No doubt.
No doubt. And shout out to you, to those that who say they are sports journalists who are not doing their job as sports journalists, because one of the reasons why we started doing this. So yeah, that was a shot. Anyway, hey, parting shot. I don't have nothing really deep. Hey, this was a really good show. I really appreciate the guys coming through. We'll have Mike Millie back next week. We'll have Dan back giving his commentating on their teams who they was given. And this was just a really good show, man. I did the promos, what we do. Also, we're on every social media platform, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you name it. We're on there. Look for us. Look for blog posts. This actual episode will be a blog post. So, you can also read about it now, see how journalistic prowess on tap, man. But this has been a really good show, man. But hey, we're going to get out of here. It's been 90 minutes, and I'm going to stick to 90 minutes as we should. But on behalf of myself, I'm Kevin L. Warren, your host and moderator, Darryl D-Dubb Warren, Dorian, the D.A. Auburn, James, the angry one, Warren, excuse me. And who else I got? I got Dan K, our hockey dude, and also Mike Mills. Hey, man, this is Sports Chasers Podcast. Y'all be good. Y'all be blessed. We'll see you next week. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah.
Shout out to all those on YouTube, man. Thank you so much.